What up, Screen Fiends? I'm GB, and you're tuned in to Headz TV, where we like to discuss all the wonderful things appearing on your movie and your TV screens. In this episode, I'm going to give my review of a sci-fi movie I just saw yesterday. It's called Life. It's still in the movie theaters. You can still find it probably in most theaters. It stars Ryan Reynolds, Jake Gyllenthal, and Rebecca Ferguson. So the basic synopsis is there's a bunch of scientists, astronauts on the International Space Station. Each one, I guess, represents a different country. Because the one lady is like Russian, one dude is Japanese, I think. There's an English dude, but there seems to be like 2 Americans and 2 Brits. I don't really know. They don't explain all that. That's not really the point of the movie, right? So they get a sample of some life from Mars, well, what appears to be life from Mars. It's a little single-celled organism, and when they get it, it seems to be dead or dormant. Then in running tests on it and, you know, poking around like humans always do in these movies, you'd figure they would have watched some movies from the 80s and 90s and would have learned their lesson on, you know, don't poke around with this stuff while you're up here in the space station. But nevertheless, they poke around and realize that it's not alive. It was just kind of, I mean, it was not dead. It was just kind of dormant, and it is alive. I don't want to say much more than that about the movie because I don't want to spoil anything. One of the fun things I had with this movie, if you've been watching my videos lately, you know that how I've been against trailers this year, and I've only been watching the first trailer that comes out for a movie and maybe the teaser, depending how long it is. And I've been enjoying movies, every movie I've seen so far this year, and they all haven't been great. We're all enjoyable experiences to me. This year, all my reviews, I think, are going to be, well, this is my first year doing reviews, but I think almost all my reviews are going to be, they're going to sound good. And I'm going to sound like somebody who doesn't hate on movies at all, who loves everything they see. But I think it's because I'm not watching the trailers. That aside. So I only watched one trailer for this, and it was one of the early ones. And it gives you an alien vibe, the first one. You don't see the creature or anything, but just the vibe that it gives you of them being isolated in the space station with some sort of alien creature taking them out or whatever. And that's basically what you get with this movie. But what I will say is, you know, whenever I go into a horror movie or a thriller movie where I know people are going to die, I don't know if you guys are like me. I'm sure many of you are, because I know a lot of us do this. We try and pick out who's going to die first and who's going to, you know, be the last one to die or the survivor or whatever. So I was totally off. I was only right on 2 of my guesses on people that were going to live to the point where they lived to. Everybody else in the movie, I was totally 1,000,000% wrong. I'm not going to tell you who it was, what order, whatever. There's a few deaths that are pretty, I'm not going to say gruesome, but they're cringy. You know, you look at them and you're like, it's not huge, like very graphic, but the imagery leads you to believe that what's going on is extremely painful. There is some blood, and there's definitely terror. There's a few I wouldn't say jump scares, but kind of, I guess. I don't really get caught by jump scares too much. Every now and again, I didn't jump scare in this, but I felt there were a few moments that were meant to make me jump. But it's not that type of movie where it's like jump scare, jump scare, jump scare, jump scare. The real terror in this movie not only comes from the life form, which is pretty creative and inventive, and I think feels organic and real in its design. The actual life form, the alien. I don't want to get too much into that because, like I said, I don't want to spoil the experience for you. But not only does the terror come from the life form, but it comes from that feeling of isolation. They're on a space station. It's not like they can just run away or hop in a car or just... It's not Star Wars where they can just get into a spaceship and zip home. You know, they're trapped in this place with this thing. And when you see how it plays out, I think you'll be surprised. I wish the movie was a little longer. That's one of my main complaints about it, is it was a little short. And I think they should have went like full-on rated R with this one. Because I think this movie might be lost on teens. And it's really more for adults. And honestly, I'll tell you the truth. Off the top of my head, I can't remember if it's rated R or rated PG-13. But it feels rated PG-13. It does not feel like a rated R movie if it is. And I think it should. Just by the way the movie plays out and the way they do the terror and the twists and turns that it takes, which I really enjoyed, is my favorite part about the movie. Some people will tell you that they were predictable. And I'm telling you right now, some of these twists and turns may be predicted, but not all of them. And you'll see what I mean when you go see the movie. So it was a good movie. It wasn't great. It was a little slightly above average. You know, I'll give it a 3.5 out of 5. You know, I would check it out in the movies, but if you can't get it to the movies to see it, no worries. Wait for video, you know, on demand or Netflix or wherever you watch your movies, HBO. It can be it definitely, you can wait to see it. But if you're somebody who's against the big blockbusters, the superhero movies, all that stuff that comes out, this is a good alternative for you because it's very different. I know it doesn't look like a small budget movie, Life, but it feels like an independent, smaller film. So, yep, Life, 3.5 out of 5. If it was a tad bit longer, I think it was only an hour and 40 minutes, hour and 45 minutes. If it was stretched to 2 hours, I think it would have played out much, much better. So, that's it. Go check it out, Life. If you can't get to the movies, like I said, no worries. You can wait to see it. All right, that's it for this vid. Thanks for tuning in. You guys have a good day, and I will see you next time.